Hello and welcome back to Spider Slaughter, one and all. We have progressed a little bit since the last time you were with us. Unfortunately, the first recording didn't quite take, so I've had to revert back to the last save, the last autosave that happens every few days. So I think we've progressed about 3 days. Not much has gone on, so you haven't missed anything really important. There's been a few skirmishes between the goblins and mants. Pretty much the normal thing. I'm sure you are used to that by now. We have changed up a few things though. First among them, instead of having the axle and windmill over here, someone pointed out that power transfers through devices. So I've just moved the windmill over here. Next, we've built a new training grounds and currently have our soldiers fighting and practicing. Thirdly, and quite cool, we've finished the lower part of the rancher's building. So there it is in all its glory. And then up here, I've been flooring this off in applewood. Now, we've also started to bring in some harvest of wheat, which is really, really good. We've been needing this desperately. And I think the only other thing I've done is, and which I'll be undoing now, I suspended the tailor. Now the reason why I suspended the tailor is because they were using up all of the bolts of cloth before they could get to the tinkerers and thus make the windmill blades. So that's all done. Got our carpenter, I think, making a couple of doors and beds for these rooms here, which we will be finishing off in this episode. So that's caught you up to speed with where the fort is right now. Not much has changed, but yeah, that's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing you haven't missed much. I think you've only missed a couple of minutes, really. 10, 15 minutes worth of recording in which we were just watching the mants fight the goblins. And bravely, the goblins, you know, doing their best. Even a two-headed ogre came along, and he lasted a phenomenally long time. He managed to get all the way from over there to here, fighting his way through mants the whole way, and then eventually bled to death. But in this episode, I imagine we're not going to take on the mants just yet. Actually, let me just check. I did make one other change, and I will just see now whether that has gone through. Let's have a look. Legionnaire, you're using the metal skins, and I believe I changed the metal skins, yes, to using hammers. Not the best plan in some ways, but possibly the only way we're going to get through these mants in others. The mants seem to have just a phenomenal resistance to damage from slashing weapons. It just can't puncture, can't cut through its hard exoskeleton. So we're going to go and start training up the 2 swordsmen in each squad. Oh, well, rather, one swordsman in each squad now, I think. Let's just double check that. Yes. We've got 1 legionnaire in each squad. They're now going to be training on hammers. That is kind of wasting their very high sword skill. Some of them have got sword skills up in the very high 40s, some of them very close to 50, and we're swapping them for hammer skills in the low 10s. Now, I'm not sure what will be best for us, to have highly skilled swordsmen with a weapon that can't damage the opponent, or poorly skilled hammer gnomes with a weapon that can damage them, but they're just not hitting as often. I really don't know which is going to be better, but the mount engagements we've had before are giving me the impression that it would be better for us to have hammers rather than swords in these fights. Now, while all that is said, let's go ahead and start building up these rooms a little bit more. We want to designate them as personal quarters. And then we will slowly replace floors and walls and all that sort of good stuff. At least I think we can replace floors after the fact. Let's just check. Replace floor. We would like stone floor. No, we would like chiseled. No, actually, we want decorative stone. These will be swanky. They'll have nice marbled floors. Wow. It doesn't look like marble, but you know what I mean. Marble is often used in those kinds of tiled patterns. So we'll get that done, and then we'll replace the doors. We'll put in the doors, the torches, and the beds, and that'll give us another 6 rooms for our gnomes. We might look at expanding a little bit more after that. But for now, we're happy where things are. Now, a few other bits of advice have been given to me. Firstly, the idea for the alpaca soldiers isn't going to work, unfortunately. Latest changes have meant that animals will just run. They'll just bolt. They won't mess around. They don't want to get killed. And who can blame them, honestly? But that does mean that our idea of having the alpacas there to kind of distract the goblins or mants, so that our soldiers could kind of get in, maybe get a few early hits before the alpacas died, isn't going to work. That's a shame. Oh, there we go. Our mechanical wall is up. Look at that amazing thing. A bronze mechanical wall. Isn't it beautiful? It's got total power of 40 and required power of 29. I think that's for the whole system. So now we need a lever. Let's go and check what that requires. Now, while I was getting all that done, I actually suspended the Tinkerer's workbench so that the engineers would go and build that. But now, where are you? We need 1 rod and 1 mechanical base. Okay, we want to build a mechanical base then. A mechanism base, rather. For that, we're going to need 2 gears. Use whatever we've got. And 1 spring. Yeah, that's fine. And then, once you've got that, build me a lever. Now, we need 2 gears, I think it said. Let me just double check. Yes. Okay. So we want 2 gears, and of course, we're going to make it out of copper. Get to that. Whilst you do that, I'm going to place down the lever. I think this can just be placed on top of the gearbox. I'm not sure, though. It might be able to be placed anywhere in the system, like on top of an axle, and it would still affect it. But you're learning as I learn. Let's find this then. Lever. Any lever. Ah, no, it can't. Ah, get away. Okay, so perhaps I need to put it here. I don't know. We'll try putting it there and see if that works. Maybe this will affect the gearbox. In Dwarf Fortress, you could do quite complicated things with the mechanic in that, and generally you wouldn't really use a lever on an axle. That doesn't make sense. You'd use it on the gearbox, and you'd stop the gearbox from turning, so the axles beyond it would not respond to the mechanical power coming through. And that is going to get on my nerves again. I really wish there was kind of a middle ground between tell me every time you see a mant that is going to happen about every 4 seconds and never tell me about anything important ever again and let me die hopelessly in a fire. But there doesn't seem to be. Now, it's on the 4th day of fall, and I think it's about time we started getting these groves going again. Otherwise, we are going to be hitting winter without much trees. Place that on priority 3, maybe. What priority is this? I'd like the pine grove done at priority 2. Birch one done after the pine one. And I'm really sorely tempted, but let me just check my stocks of fruit. The problem with the apple orchard is if I cut it, all that fruit is going to go on the floor, and that's going to make further mant attacks even worse. We've got 745 apples. We're probably good. So I'm not going to worry too much about this particular grove. I am going to designate it, but I'm going to immediately suspend it. So there's the grove. It's apple. It'll be priority 5, and I would like it to be suspended. But when it's back up, I would like them to... No, we'll set... It'll be primarily a fruit grove if I need it to be. But for now, it'll sit there. Now let's just make sure that I made this a birch grove. I didn't. That was silly of me. There we go. Now it's a birch grove. And our lumberjacks should have some jobs for them. Some strawberries there already. I would like the strawberry farm suspended. I do not need any more strawberries right now. So you can just let those grow and not harvest them, I think. Let's just check on my stocks of cotton and wool. And if we've got plenty of fiber, I'll also suspend the cotton farm. Wow, we've got loads of fiber. Not too much cotton, but enough wool to satisfy any need. So we're suspending cotton as well. It's the strawberry farm. That's 3, that's 2. The wheat farms are going to be 1. That's fine. No, this wheat farm is 4. Okay, so they do this one first and then those 2, but they're suspended, so they'll go straight to this wheat farm instead. That seems fine. All is well in the world. Aha! They've already built it. Oh, well done. Let's see. Now, if I go to this copper lever and tell them to pull the lever, hopefully anyone will get the job. I imagine that's just like a hauling job. Here we come. Didn't do anything. How are we meant to use levers? This doesn't make any sense. Okay. Gearbox. Can I do anything with the gearbox? No. Okay. Let's have a look at these axles then. Yes, I know there's a mount there. Let's scroll down a little bit and have another look at mechanisms. If I could build a pressure plate, how would I link it? That's the question. Maybe I can build an axle under it? No. Okay. Maybe it acts like an axle. Perhaps. Okay, let's deconstruct this axle then. And this lever. Actually, no. Cancel. Nope. Cancel this job. Deconstruct the one closest to the wall. We'll see how that works. And then we'll build a new lever. Once the mount stops stealing my view. Another mount has been spotted. Actually, I'm just going to turn that off again for a little while. I don't intend to go out just yet, so I don't think it really matters too much. Now, mechanisms, switch, lever. We will build it here. We will see if this works. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it goes through the lever. Come on, engineer. Either of you. I don't mind which one. Are you coming? No, that's not you. What about you? No. Who's coming? Because I know one of you are. It's been... Ah, wow. You snuck up there, call me cat. But well done. Okay. Now we have a lever. Again, we've got power moving through now. So... I think this just acts as an axle. I see. That makes sense. Come on. Someone flip the lever. I want to see this thing go down. Damn it. But that's good to know. Oh, wait. Is it perhaps that one of the engineers needs to do that? Task flip lever. Yes. Ah. That is actually kind of bad. Merchant has arrived. Gnomus died. That's terrible. Oh, dear. Merchant has been spotted. The gnome has died. Merchant has been spotted. Gnome has died. Merchant spotted. Gnome has died. I'm sorry. I would have come and saved you, but yeah, not gonna happen right now. In the meanwhile, then, if that's going to require mechanics to operate, well, that's going to make this incredibly cumbersome as a system, because there's only one person in the fort who's going to be able to pull the bloody lever. We're going to need more people with mechanics, I think. Let's see. Could I give my masons mechanics? Let's see, where are you? Stonesmith. If I were to give you mechanic 1. Actually, I imagine mechanic is pretty... For the looks of it, it might be for anyone. Okay. You know what, everyone. You're all mechanics. Mechanic degrees for everybody. Well done. Well done to you all. You must be very proud. There we go. Builders, definitely builders. Did I give it to ranchers? Blacksmiths, you're definitely mechanics. You're probably more likely to be mechanically minded than most of them. Other than the engineers, of course. Why did I just give it to soldiers? They're never going to do it because our soldiers aren't in militia squads. Bard, you're also a mechanic. Doctor. Chosen Undead. This is where I start regretting making so many custom professions. Oh my lord. And also where you regret me making so many custom professions. But I think we're getting to the bottom of the list. Stonesmith. Pet rock salesman. And bonesmith. There we go. Everyone is now a mechanic. Well done. Spider Slaughter. It's where people come to fulfill their dreams. And get besieged by mans. Now, does this actually contain 32 bandages? It might do. That's fantastic. I'm thinking that... Right, we've got 32 there. 64, 128. How many bandages? I think we're making 128 bandages. I might make a few more crates for bandages, actually. I'm thinking that would be wise. Now, these ones, I think, are priority 2. No, I want the... This one will be priority 9. This one will be priority 2, I think. Yeah. So if I make another one that's priority 1, just up by here, so that we've got a little bit extra. So this will be emergency overflow. I'll make that a priority 1. The only thing we want here is bandages. Just for a little bit more. Someone did... I've had conflicting advice in regards to building separate bandage stockpiles. Some people have said that it would be a very good idea to have a bandage stockpile over here, bandage stockpile here, for example, so that whilst my soldiers are out and about, if they're over here, then, or maybe over here, then this is always going to be closer to them than this over here, because the way it calculates where it should go is more or less just which one's closest as the crow flies, even though, if you imagine crows could fly through mountains. So even though they're going to have to pass this one to get over to the bandages here, these would still be closer to them if they were there. Whereas if I place a bandage stockpile through here, maybe have 2 doors or something, then maybe that would help. I don't know. I think it would help if I had multiple gatehouses, but I'm not sure. I'm going to still think on that a little bit more. More decisions. But I'm very pleased with this. Now we can actually start working on traps. Now I know a lot of people have said traps are a mixed bag. And from what I understand, mants are not that susceptible to traps, but it may give us a little bit extra. If we can just do a little bit more damage to the first mant that comes through, or the first goblin, then I think it's worth us doing. Now we want some birch doors. Again, only the finest for our clinical rooms that all kind of look samey and a little bit boring. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll start getting to the custom room requests shortly. I do have a few. Sero wanted bone walls and moon carved floors for their bedroom. A pretty nice choice, actually, I must confess. We've got people who want certain things in the rooms, like anvils and pet rocks, and I will be getting to those. But for the time being, I just want people to have somewhere to sleep. That's going to give them a little bit of a boost. Now, let's get... I'll take that around. One there. One there. 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 And there. Well done, whoever gets these rooms. I've no doubt that you've earned it. And that'll be a little bit less sleepy gnomes walking around our place. Though I should turn this into some sort of garrison, I think. For the silvery lurkers of battle. Now, whilst all that's going on, let's have a think about this. For the time being, let's start plotting out our rooms. Now, I've said that I don't want it to be logs. So let's go ahead and get some birch planks. Well, I can either do birch planks or applewood planks. If I do applewood planks, I'm going to have to harvest all of the wood here. Whereas birch, I've got a decent amount of it. Though I might have plenty of applewood logs in stock. So let me just check that. Yeah, actually I do. I have a load of applewood logs. Perhaps then I should go ahead and get rid of that and make these applewood. Let's have a quick look at our art room. Now, do we want that kind of reddish on top there? Or not? It's a bit of a hard choice, honestly. I mean, this one looks pretty nice when it's in plank form. But... no, I think we'll go with applewood, actually. We don't really have applewood walls anywhere else, so... let's go ahead and get these planks placed. You're going to have a very dapper bedroom. I hope you guys appreciate it. Though how I'm going to get up onto the roof, I'm probably going to have to make a little way up onto the roof from these walls. Probably a little bit of a dirt bridge there, and then make a roof. Probably out of thatch. We've got thatch now, so I might as well. And we need to continue work on this, but I don't know what to do with that at the moment. I'm still pondering over whether I should just demolish this top part and roof it off and then expand catacombs underneath. Or, indeed, as some people have said, replace all the walls with bones. I think bones for the catacombs would be a good idea. And maybe just replacing with this block style for these walls. I'm not sure. Though, whatever I do, I think I'm going to have to take these down for now. So that my gnomes can walk freely around the perimeter, unfortunately. We'll build up the actual walls first, and then come back to that. I think we'll build this up maybe one more level, then roof it off, and then focus on the catacombs instead. But the walls are going up pretty quickly up here. That's brilliant news. Right, let's get these placed then. Get a couple more planks down. Oops, there we go. Get those two. And this one can just go straight down. Yeah, I kind of like the effect of that. No, wait. What am I doing? We need some windows. Of course we need windows. We'll have... right, well, if we're going to have bedrooms over here, it's probably going to be a bedroom there. They're going to be too wide after all. This one's not going to have a window because you haven't got the... unless I put them there, I could. And maybe put a pillar or something. It's a tough choice. Because if I do take away the wall, that's going to decrease the value. But I think we need windows. Yeah, we're going to give you windows. I'll put pillars there, just to make them look a little bit nicer. I mean, because that's quite a nice effect, I think. But we'll see how it looks when we've got it. Because it may not work so well with a wooden wall. If not, we'll just leave them as holes in the wall. Oh, wait. What am I doing? Are you breaking the floor? I think you are. You swines. I told you to deconstruct instead of cancel job, didn't I? Oh, I'm a derp. So we'll rebuild that then. And applewood. There and there. And continue the applewood walls over here. We'll just put this one down first. Wait for someone to fill that and then we can finish off the edge there. But we should be able to draw this out. That would be, yeah, about that far out. That actually gives us quite a large dining area for you two. In fact, I could bring your bedroom out a little bit more if you wanted. I'm sure you do. Not quite that far though. That was a bit of a mistake. There we go. Have a nice bed. Maybe even a statue in your bedrooms. Yes, I'm liking that. Now, our military's been training for a little while. And this crate is full of what? Stuff that we don't want. Oh no, cotton bandages. Ah, all is well. That's okay then. Now, while all that's going on, let's go and check out what we need for traps. Now, I've had a look at traps, and we've got spike traps and blade traps. I don't know if mechanical walls, when they lift up, if there's a low ceiling, whether that will crush whatever's there, like an atom smasher in Dwarf Fortress. I'm assuming not, however. But if that is the case, do let me know in the comments. If you've experimented with mechanics at all and have found that you can make some sort of crushing trap, let me know, because that would be awesome. As for the traps that we can make spike traps or blade traps. Now, for mants, blades aren't going to work unless these are phenomenally powerful blades. But I get the impression they're not. However, spikes might work. If there's like spears jutting out and stabbing through the heart of the mants, that might do us better than having some sort of bladed thing. So what do we need for that? We need a trap base, and that requires a mechanism base and one spring, and also any spike. I imagine I built spikes elsewhere. So we're going to want springs and gears, I guess. Lots of them. Let's see. Go ahead and make me... Oh, here we got some spikes. They require 2 bars. Ouch. How many tiles have we got? Now, someone else has also told me to possibly consider making some sort of trap that drops the mats into a hole. And I will consider that. That will be part of our trap. I'm thinking here, like have this wall, a mechanical wall or something. But that's something we're going to have a look at shortly. But we can have 1, 2, 3, 4 at least. So we'll plan for 4 spike traps for now. Maybe, yeah, we'll make it a nice round 5. So let's get these 5 spikes a making. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to need 5 springs for the mechanisms. And we will then need another, so 2 springs for each trap and 2 gears for each trap. Okay, that's not too bad. So copper bar and springs, copper bar. There we go. That should be enough for us to make 5 spike traps. So let's just crank these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, that should keep our engineers busy for a little while. But now we have come up to the 30-minute mark. So this episode is over. Let's scroll out a little bit and have a look at what's going on outside. Got plenty of mants roaming around, as always they do. Quite a lot of forgotten, or well, rather stolen iron armor. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Because these goblins are just constantly getting just demolished by the mants. And every time that happens, more expensive loot is dropped. I mean, I'm wondering if maybe it'll get to a point that eventually there'll be so much iron armor outside that the goblins being sent are like these hero gods of war goblins who come along and kill all of the mants, but, you know, just get mortally wounded in the process and then die out, giving us a little bit of time to rush out, grab all of the iron in and equip our squads, and then that'll be great. I don't really think it's going to be that easy, though. But I live in hope. So, on that note, I'm going to end this episode. We've done a little bit. We've got our farms in full production now. We've got our groves working hard. And we are making some progress towards finishing off the ranchers' rooms. And we are looking into traps. So, we've actually covered a fair bit of ground. Oh, and of course, we've got the mechanical wall working now, which is fantastic. And discovered the mystery behind levers. So, in the next episode, we're going to be finishing off this, or at least getting it a little bit further along, but probably placing a few spike traps around this area and maybe reshaping it a little bit to include the beginnings of an automated pitfall trap. That's my plan anyway. But for now, the fort is ticking along, and I don't fear the man's just yet, but I am getting a little bit stir crazy. The gnomes are getting a little bit cranky, having been cooped up for so long, and Million Fowl is starting to growl at people. Yep, it's starting to get pretty dangerous. Nevertheless, I hope you will brave the dangers to return and join us for the next episode. But until then, do take care.